The weekend was full of a bunch of esports championships. We're going to be talking about how effective the strategies were. There was some cheating. There was some fishy play. Nate understands. We're also talking about Overwatch adding Deathmatch, a Nintendo Switch game that you can't play on your television. No Man's Sky in its... No, he's gone. No Man's Sky starting its second year, possibly on the right foot. All of that and more. Get your game faces on, because it's inventory full.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Poorly.
What's up? It's your play of the week. Welcome to Inventory Full here on the Popcorn Talk Network. We got the full squad here. I'm one of your hosts, and that's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Joined by Nate Miller.
What's up, nerds? You can find me on all social media at DogLikeNate.
Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles.
Patrick Dees.
What is up, guys? You can find me at P to the D's. What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Welcome back.
Welcome
It's good to be back.
Yeah, we missed you last week.
Oh, yeah.
Now it sucks. There's this big void in my life when I'm not talking games with you on the regular.
Well, no, see, the difference between that is when you're gone, you play games.
Yeah, oh.
Whereas we're constantly here and doing things and not playing games.
Yeah, fair enough. So much is coming out, though. I feel like this weird pressure to like churn and burn.
You're absolutely
We're
right.
hitting that time of year.
Getting to Destiny, man. Destiny's...
I know.
Boy.
That's what scared me, right? Like, I know that's on the horizon. It's like, and I know if I didn't play like Tacoma this week, I was like, kiss that goodbye. Sorry, Steve Gaynor, but
Missed
I'm
it.
playing Destiny.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of which, what have you been playing?
I did wrap Tacoma. It's
Okay.
I won't spend too much time talking about that. It is a narrative-driven game. You guys are familiar with this. It is, ostensibly a walking simulator. It's the follow-up to Fulbright's Gone Home. Takes place in space. You are you're there to find out what happened to the space station. Have you guys seen The Mechanic?
No, but if it's similar to Gone Home,
It's a little different. So you
Okay.
walk into a room and there's an AI there, and the AI goes, "Hey, an AI. The AI says there's an AR to watch." And essentially, what it is it records the space station. The space station records these bodies, and they're like stick figures, kind of, and they record this whole scene. And it's a little bit like Sleep No More in New York. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like interactive theater, right? So there's just scenes going on, and you can follow whomever you want, and you have to, right? So you can rewind, fast forward. They'll all be at one place, and they all go in different directions. And so you'll follow the people that you want to, rewind, come back, follow the other people, and you kind of slowly piece together the narrative of what happened on that space station. So incredibly well written. Highly recommended if you like the walking simulator genre. I know Nate's right out. He's like, I gotta shoot shit.
No, I'm not opposed. It's just a game like that. I really have to have time set out to play because I am a very narrative focused person.
Sure.
So when I get into it, I really get into it. So just being busy, I'm just gravitating to more pick up and play games than
I get it.
a time commitment.
It is really, so that's actually what was exciting to me, was I knew I could knock it off and like be done with it and say, hey, look, I consumed that game.
Right.
Pro tip for folks at home, if you are playing on Xbox, it's an Xbox exclusive, it's on the PC as well. Something I ran into. I tweeted about this being the most difficult puzzle in Tacoma. There is a bug that says press A to start, and that is it. It just stops. Literally, you go check it, like it just stops. And so this is a known bug. Fulbright knows about it. The way you solve this, and this was after days of nobody knowing, is you have to unplug every non-controller peripheral, including Kinect. So I'd rebooted, restarted, literally had to unplug my hard drive, everything, every USB that's plugged into it.
Yikes.
So if you're at home, they still don't have a patch up yet. If you can't get through Tacoma, I know, we're a week out, they still don't. But unplug everything, make sure it's on your internal hard drive, not an external. Move it to your internal, press A to start, and it will start, I promise. But like I got hung up on a really tough start screen.
That's right.
I know.
Big.
It was weird.
That's the start screen. That's the first thing.
Totally. Press A to start, and I was like, or not. I guess I'm just not playing. You know that feeling when you get home and you're like, all right, I got a new game. I'm ready, and you get your headphones on or whatever snacks. I'm usually eating something, ready to go, and then just. Maybe if I hold A.
Was this
Maybe if
right
I
when you started? Like
Yeah,
when you
to start.
That was your first.
Literally, you can't get to the menu screen.
Really?
It is the big thing. It shows Tacoma, Unreal 4, or it's Unity. Press A to start.
Yeah.
You can't progress
I
past
wouldn't
that. I
have
was
the
like, I'm
patience.
doing something
I'd be
wrong
like,
there.
all right,
This is
never
part of the game.
Refund.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I was like, they're fucking
Your
with me,
game's
right?
broken.
Like, this has got to be like something I've got to learn. I got to be smarter than the game. It was a solid 20 minutes before I gave up on that. I was like, all right.
So
It's just broken.
It's like it's an intelligence check before you even start the game.
That's really what I thought with the Kojima
supposed to
type thing.
press,
It's
like,
like,
a B.
But
supposed to press
how-
There's
B.
something I'm missing.
Deep
It's-
puzzle.
I tried to caress the A button. That didn't work.
Press A within yourself.
Yeah.
Now, when it says press A,
Right.
what does press mean?
What does it read? I agree. Let's deconstruct this. Anyway,
There's
so
a Morse
for
code
folks,
for start on the A button.
just was like, what? Yes, that would have been good.
There's just something.
Maybe it meant press A button. Not press the A button.
If I hadn't pressed everything and then thrown my controller a couple times, I probably would have agreed with you.
I got it. Press the A button.
Oh!
Well, why didn't you
If
say that
only
earlier?
they figured that out.
Solving
Yeah.
it. So,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're
Instructions
also
unclear.
playing Hellblade.
I am playing
from
Hellblade.
Ninja Theory.
You guys familiar with this?
I'm familiar with Hellblade. It's one of those ones that's just gone under the radar. I
Yeah.
love Ninja Theory.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Journey to the West or Enslaved is one of my favorite games. I absolutely love
What
it.
did you love about it? I want to because I don't know that this is for everybody, so I think I want to recommend it with some qualifications. What did you love about their other titles?
Well, the thing about Enslaved is I'm a big fan of the Journey to the West story.
Yeah.
So getting to play an action version of that. The thing that ultimately made me get it was some of my favorite reviewers mentioned how great the performance capture was and how it's one of the first really, really solid performance capture games. And the acting is amazing in it. The soundtrack is amazing in it. The action is fun.
Yeah.
And I would highly recommend it on Steam or anywhere that you can get it. Please pick up that. But Hellblade looks even more gorgeous.
It is stunning. So it's interesting they're embracing this double A model. And if you guys have seen the price point of this, is $30.
$30.
It is an Unreal 4 game, and it is stunning. I'm playing it on the PlayStation Pro.
PlayStation 4 Pro?
I am, and it is a damn good-looking game. Now, some things that I didn't know going into it. I knew I liked Ninja Theory, and I knew that it looked stunning, and that was it.
That's all I knew too.
So I'll give you a couple of things, a little bit about it. So it is a little bit more involved than Tacoma when it comes to a walking simulator, but it's very similar.
Very close.
It is. This is a story game first and foremost. It is transcendently beautiful. The performance capture, I think, is unparalleled in modern console gaming. I don't know that I've seen a more convincing, the emotions conveyed. But it is a game about mental illness. I had no idea what I was getting into when I turned this on. So it starts up and it automatically it recommends that you play with headphones. If you guys have a good set of gaming headphones, I can't recommend this enough because one of the principal mechanics in this game is you're walking along. You're a Viking warrior lady, and she's dealing with immediately some true signs of mental illness. She hears voices. So from the very get-go, you're one of those voices, or you think you are, in her head. So she goes, they're talking at you from all over. So the directional audio is incredible.
Important.
They yell at each other. They yell at her. They yell at you. They give you direction like, you're getting closer, you're getting warmer, you're getting colder. She's going to die. There's no way she can make this. She's going to die. Are you kidding me? We have to leave. Go forward. They're constantly yelling at you. And again, the positional audio is awesome. And the game consists of kind of two things. It's combat, which for a Ninja Theory game, which did the Devil May Cry stuff, right?
Yeah, they did the new DMC Devil May Cry.
Did you guys play that?
Now
Nate's like, he's like.
Now the last thing I played from Ninja Theory was Disney Infinity. They did the Jedi combat when it came to
Okay.
the Star Wars playset, and oh boy, was that fun! Not even exaggerating.
No, I
But
believe it,
Ninja
right?
Theory is really good at combat.
And so this is weird that they kind of veered from that. Not that the combat is bad in this. I think it's certainly passable. It's just not very deep, right? So,
focus.
right. It is all about. It is in service of the narrative. So there are some terrifying moments where the combat is harrowing, and it tells you from the jump. So if you guys are familiar with this, that there is a mechanic in the game where, like, if you die too many times, it erases your save and starts you from the beginning.
Now here, there's a bit of controversy to this because they present it in a way where it's permadeath.
Right.
And because it's still early on in the life cycle, people go, I'm not going to try that.
Right.
But a couple of reviewers, I forget the website, went through and died over 50 times, and nothing happened.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys about.
What do you mean nothing happened?
There was no permadeath.
Right.
Oh, the save didn't wipe, actually?
Yeah. So it was just a way of sort of immersing you as the player in terms of I need to take care of this person.
Of telling you there's permadeath, even though it's not actually.
And I wanted your take on that because.
But then once you die the first time...
Well, no. It's if you die too much. Not if you die once, but if you die too much. How much is too much? Still don't know. But
I see what you're
there's
saying.
Right.
the blot, right?
Right.
Is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
No. Yeah. For sure.
It's this black essence that runs up the arm, and the more you die, the further up it goes. That people found out that there are 4 stages of the game where if you before you reach that next stage, it'll stop here, and then once you pass that next threshold, then it'll stop here, and then it'll stop here, and so on and so forth. So it's not exactly permadeath, but it's a visual representation of this is taking over her.
But I don't know how I feel about it. I'm weirdly conflicted because I didn't know that when I started, read it later. But what it did for me, especially because I played this in 2 chunks so far, about 3 hours, and I played an hour and a half each time. And the first time, I mean, I am on edge. Like, I did not want to get hit. I was like, come on. And so, like, now I think it's lower stakes bingo. Not that it's the end of the world, and I obviously don't want to restart fights, but like, it was way more intense for me when I believed that and didn't know. And I think it's weird that like a developer would throw that out there in the internet age, right? This is not like 1992 where you'd have to learn on the playground. I was like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, no, like
When I died,
in 15 minutes, like people knew that this was not like legit. I like what they were going with it, but I kind of wish I didn't know. How do you guys feel about like developers doing that?
Well, I think it's not just necessarily this is something that I wanted to wait to talk about this week. Kind of want to talk about it last week because of how far I've gotten, not that much far, in Horizon, where I had to change the difficulty to get past a story mission.
Sure.
And yeah, sure, fine, whatever.
Which is the normal, yes.
Absolutely.
No,
It's
You
absolutely
didn't
fine.
play Halo on Legendary. You didn't play Halo.
Well, I did play Halo.
Get
So-
good, bro.
I didn't have an Xbox. Anyway, so I think that goes into how far you're willing to go to be immersed into the story versus difficulty.
Okay.
And in terms of Hellblade, it's a choice by the developer to make it so that you think it's more difficult than it actually is, and I think that's different. I don't know. Jay Leno.
I'm kind of I'm conflicted. Like, again, it really worked for me. And they've got difficulties like easy, medium, hard, and then auto. So it's a dynamic one that adapts to how well you're doing. So it'll always provide the right difficulty. So for me, that's also the default setting. So I just left it there. But like every time I hit, I clutched. I was like, don't die, don't die, don't die. It seemed to really matter. And especially in this context, I won't say too much, but with her dealing with mental illness and on this quest that she's on, like, there's something kind of like, it's high stakes bingo. Like, she shouldn't die. So like, for me, it made it way more narratively interesting to have that kind of in place. But I'll just say, again, I don't know how this wraps up, but I am fascinated. I've never played a game like this. It's just combat, it's walking, and then there's a light puzzle elements. We have to line up certain symbols with things in the environment, but color me intrigued.
I think if they switched it to where it wasn't something that was advertised, no, that's difficult.
They say it like the first like 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but that's weird. That's weird.
I know.
It all depends on how you frame your message.
Yes, and I feel like it's also weird too that like maybe that should have been part of the review embargo. Like reviewers maybe should have said that or something, because like they didn't say that until the game was in the public's hands, and all of a sudden there was this like whole like backlash around it where I think they could have got out ahead of the messaging a little bit. I don't know.
If it was in the advertising of it, maybe. And also, this game, the only... I know that there was a Game Informer article about it, and then there was a trailer where everybody went, what's this game? It's like, It's been announced for a couple months. This isn't new. But...
I had not heard of this game until you said we were
Really?
going to talk about this.
Is that right?
Completely under my radar.
It was under mine until like last week as well. And I missed, there was like a tech demo of this facial cap tech in one of the E3s apparently, where they were showing her face and how lifelike it was. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I didn't know it certainly wasn't on my radar.
Well, I mean, that's because Ninja Theory has been working with Andy Serkis since Heavenly Sword. So
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, they've had access to the best technology thanks to him. And I don't know what his involvement in this game was, if any, but he's the best in the business, and he's brought that over. Okay, man, you brought 2 games that are completely different. Well, not completely different, but walking simulators, I suppose. A little bit more combat for one. I mean, if you're not playing anything, out of the 2, which would you suggest more one than the other?
For people that aren't playing anything, I'm going to go with, at least at this point, again, the caveat is I haven't finished Hellblade, but I'd say Hellblade, right? Like, I think you can get similar types of experiences. There were some tropes that I didn't love in Tacoma. It didn't resonate with me like Gone Home did. Like, I think about those 2 characters to this day. And I think Tacoma is incredibly well written, but there is nothing nothing like Hellblade, right? Like having these people, it's too intense for me. Like I don't know if I should be doing this before I go to sleep, but like having people yell at you for like an hour and a half and like in different, like sometimes they're supportive and sometimes they're not. And sometimes they're very denigrating and then like yelling at you and yelling at her and like it is an intense experience, but it's also unlike anything out there, and it's getting unbelievable reviews. So I'm cautiously optimistic that narratively they wrap up like in a really cool way.
Okay, all right. So Hellblade, damn.
Yeah.
That throw it on the list. All right, let's move on to some of the esports events that happened over the weekend.
Yes.
Let's start with a game that we don't talk about very much here.
Oh, yeah?
Not at all.
Overwatch. Let's talk about Overwatch.
What's Overwatch?
Yeah, what is this?
Is that a new game?
Yeah, it's a
come
new
out?
game
That's the new
by
MMO, right?
BlizzCliz.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've heard that name before.
it's been known as
Titanfall.
Project Titan.
Jeez.
Stacey, you were
TF2?
at the World Cup this weekend.
I was at the World Cup this
Tell
weekend.
us about it.
It was so. This is my first like esports competition that I've attended in person.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fascinating, and it was in this hangar in Santa Monica, which they converted into an esports stage. And the setup was really cool, and it was so well organized.
Really?
Like, it ran so smoothly. For this being like a fledgling kind of competition for them, the whole Overwatch chain, it moved along. They had almost zero technical issues. They had everything set to go, moving back and forth. It was very organized, very easy to maneuver. It was a bit smaller than I expected, but then I guess since it sold out so fast, I shouldn't have been that surprised.
Yeah.
It was really fun being in a crowd of people who really like watching other people
What
play
was the
Overwatch.
format? I had no idea this was
So-
a thing. Like, what
So
was it like?
we've got some video of New Zealand versus USA, which we'll run while we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like you go there, like who's playing, like how's it organized, like what's the
So
experience like?
they put out the schedule before the day starts. They had it organized into brackets.
Okay.
So we had groups G and groups H competing this weekend, which included the United States, UK, Germany. And so they came together and they'd play all their matches. They had set start times,
Okay.
and then kind of enough time to play all of the games if they had to. Most of the games ended up going 4-0, so they only had
Right.
And some, they dragged them out for a while, but some of them were pretty
So
quick
these
matches.
weren't pro-owned teams. They were like regional country, like they're countries,
So they put
right?
together, so each country put together a committee to pick these teams.
Oh, okay,
Well, they
wow.
have they already have different leagues, though.
They
in
have
Right.
different
regions.
leagues.
So they they're picking teams out of the.
Yeah, so they had a
leagues that already
committee that
existed.
looked at all of the players and they pulled them from different pro leagues and put
Right.
together these teams. So some of the teams hadn't been working together very long, which was really interesting to see
Oh,
how
yeah,
that
totally,
played
yeah.
out. And some of them, Belgium, for example, they had a language barrier with several of the members.
And this also isn't like a culminating final of like a season, right? This is more
This
like
was
like an invitational tournament.
Yes, so this was the final round of the qualifier.
Right, but this is not like after a lead up of a season,
No,
certain
this-
teams
Oh, no.
qualified from like for example the league world championships, where in
No.
each league throughout the different regions, whoever is in the certain top 2 or 3 spots depending on how big the region is, those are who advances to worlds, and then they go through the group stages. So in this case, if I'm correct, they just invited teams from different regions.
Well, not
And-
whole teams. They took players.
So they took players
They
and then
took
assembled teams.
players
So they
and
picked players
yes.
from the regions, and then they said, "All right, you." So it's kind of like almost like an Olympics.
Are you familiar with the
All-Stars
Dream
kind
Team?
of a thing?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the 1992 Dream Team, including Barkley, Shut Up and Jam?
There's a new dream team.
Nope, there's only one, and there'll only be that one.
it.
No.
David Robinson, it's his house.
There's a new
Patrick
dream
Ewing,
team. Times have changed.
Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. He played on that. He didn't play much. He held his back on the sideline most of the time.
You
I'm a
guys
cutie
got
pie.
this one.
Yeah, he was moral support.
Dyrus, Skara. I'm telling you,
I don't know, what is this you speak of?
this is the League of Legends dream team. They took a bunch of ex-pro players and like players who've turned into streamers, and they made them. There's the regular like pro tier, and then
Sure.
there's like challenger tier, which is like right under it. People who want to be pro. So they got all the ex players that are popular streamers. They put them on one team, and now
They
they're
just
playing against the challengers, and they
destroying
no
people?
they lose
Oh,
all the
really?
time because they're way out of practice.
Yeah,
all they
yeah.
do is stream, so they
Yeah.
play for fun and they're having a good
got
time.
it.
They're way out of practice, and they're playing with the challenger division, who are all people who are hungry to get to pros. So they just play the scrim games and they play the real games and they just get demolished. But everybody loves watching them because they're popular.
When it comes to Overwatch, gentlemen, excuse me, they put up this clip that we're playing right now is available on the Overwatch YouTube page. It's Team USA versus New Zealand. It's an hour long. It's all 4 sets of rounds. But this first Hollywood round was just amazing. They've got essentially the same loadout in terms of characters with 1 or 2 differences here and there, and it's even interesting with that to see how much the strategies change based on that. And being in the crowd of a area in the United States, how were the crowd reactions when the United States was excelling?
Oh boy, well you could see like in the videos there were so many American flags, people draped in American flags.
Were there any McCrees in the USA?
There were
Good.
No, there were a lot of lifeguard McCree won this round. He really did.
Look at that stage.
Someone did like a lifeguard American version.
All right.
So he had the American flag. But yeah, and so all of these signs, I did not know they have a sign station in the back of the arena, and you go and you make signs right then and there.
Let's just streamline this shit. Let's do that. That sounds so Blizzard.
Well, it makes
it
also makes it look.
I agree.
It makes the fans look more involved as well.
So so you go back there and you make your signs. They have to approve them, but
yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to be said about the Blizzard production design. The set looks awesome.
It looks
Everything
fantastic.
is like, it's like, just like you said. I mean, all Blizzard products are like this.
Yep.
They polish it and polish it and polish it and polish it and polish it, but just because you shine a turd.
Hey.
I'm just saying, like, I love Overwatch, but even like watching that gameplay, I still feel like they haven't figured out the best way to implement the spectator.
No, I agree.
It's hard to follow.
Dude,
it's hard to watch, especially pros, because they don't just stand there.
No, they jump
and shoot. They move because that's how you not die.
And that spectator camera that wasn't one of those first-person perspective, it just looked like chaos. It's just a bunch of, like, to your point, and everyone's jumping. It was just like boom, 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 boom,
and
boom,
they also need some celebrities too, because there's like Siegel is the only one I know. And he's just popular because he's like one of the best Genjis and he just destroys people. But I think that's one of the things that they really need to push the.
Let's get Ice-T out there.
If Ice-T plays Overwatch,
he plays Gears,
and he plays it at a competitive level, I would pay.
I would love to see. I would pay this
I
guy
would
lots of money. I would buy the gear too.
Exactly. I want his voice pack. Killer Mike, maybe.
Definitely Killer Mike. All right.
Killer Mike Winston skin.
Yes. On board.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
So we're gonna come back to Overwatch because they had a little bit of news that came out that we were able to test in the PTR today. But let's move on to the next bit of esports. Was the For Honor championships, which for a game that's less than a year old, a little silly.
Thank God we're covering this though, because I've been dying to talk about it.
Are you?
No,
he played.
He's like, oh, really?
Like,
no,
really?
No, absolutely
well,
not.
No, see, the reason why we're talking about it is the guy that won utilized an exploit.
Oh, did he really?
It's not an. I don't feel like exploit is the right word.
Okay,
it's
what
not
is
an
it?
exploit. It's a
break it down.
It's bad game mechanics. It's a move that's he's not breaking the game. It's a move that's implemented in the game. It's just poorly implemented.
What did he do?
There's like a. It's like a auto cancel or something like that. It's basically a move that's unblockable, unparryable, and you just spam it. So he sits there and he swings wide.
And he had him in a
once
corner.
You get close, anytime you get close, try to do anything, he just cancels
spammed
it back.
it?
Yeah, and he spammed it all the way up the ladder and destroyed everyone.
And that got him what?
The thing that I think part of the reason why people are saying exploit and there's a lot of like negative emotions coming out with it is because he was kind of ass about it.
Yeah.
He was
so
taunting
let's,
and like
we can advance a little bit to like maybe a minute left where we could see a little bit more of what he was doing.
But dog, like I don't know, like that's there has to be some sort of if they know that that's in the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Well, and
he was handed the trophy by one of the lead developers of the game and said, "Hey, you should probably change your strategy soon," meaning that they're going to patch that specific thing.
But did people
out.
go into the tournament knowing this was a thing?
Yes,
they did.
This has been a thing. This has been a thing since the free beta.
Then how do they not ban that pick?
How do they not have
dedicated
servers
and
until a year?
But like sure, but like why doesn't everybody then pick this dude and why doesn't everybody just spam this if it is just the I don't understand why this is like allowed to even be.
Because some people value integrity over.
Wow. Wow.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was in a competition, I would have
No.
to ask myself, am I going to use the cheapest strategy that I'm going to feel dirty for, but I have a much higher chance of winning, or am I going to try to fight fair when someone else could easily pick the strat and use
Especially
it
when
against me?
there's what was it $10,000 on
Oh,
the
he's
line?
disgusted.
Yeah.
That dude is so pissed.
Yeah.
Not having it. Not having
No,
it.
that was the win. That's the winner.
He
He
was
won.
definitely not proud of what he just
No.
did. Then.
He
No.
feels disgusted.
Yeah,
Feels
all right.
dirty.
He's like, wow, what did I just do?
Fuck that guy. Anyway,
Oh.
so I find it even just weirder that already we have an esports level, and I use air quotes with that for audio listeners, for a game like For Honor. No offense to people that community, but it's been less than a year. How can you? It's sort of like
Fighting game.
how we've talked about fighting game.
Well,
Yeah.
But they-
PUBG
they-
hasn't
from
even
the
had an
gra-
official release, and
That's what I mean. That I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Is PUBG's already going to have
They're
a
having
presence
at Gamescom. Is it next week or the week after?
soon?
Soon.
Yeah.
They're having a
Yep.
contest.
But this
for
was
money.
Built, this is built from the ground up for esports, though, right? Like it was always Ubi's intention, right? Like all of the overlays are that way. Like they shoutcasted the first time they ever showed this game. Like it was clearly built to be part of this space. So like to me, it doesn't surprise me.
All right. Well,
And they've got a pretty big community. I don't know. It's not my jam.
The last little
The
bit of
community is
esports.
already like upset with the developers because of the issues of the dedicated servers, and like remember this game had a blackout. Like they actually got like I think it was like 85% of the community to not play for like a day or two.
Really?
Yeah, just completely killed the like players online to get them to say like fix these servers. There's a problem with this game because there are people that love the game, and I don't fault them because I played it. It was a fun game, but there's just a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. And in my opinion, there's plenty of the games for me to play, and like it's not worth
And they keep coming.
trying to argue with it's not worth trying to like make you fix your game so I can play it.
Yeah, yeah.
That I've paid you for it a year ago.
I would play this game if you could play as the guy who came out on stage at E3 to introduce it, the guy with the cane.
Yeah.
The guy's more passionate about this game than I am about anything or have ever been or ever will be. If I could play as that dude with his cane sword, I'd play the shit out of this game.
DLC?
Yes.
He's
You
just
know
all
this
in
dude
the-
I wouldn't be
is
surprised.
dying
His
to
own
be in the
clan.
game. You know.
Come on.
It's
It's
definitely.
Vikings, Knights, Samurai, and that
And
guy.
developer.
sure
Yeah. Dev.
I'm sure they'll add him as a paid DLC character.
Probably.
You know he's built this game.
Or a
He's
skin.
definitely definitely.
Yeah, it's there.
He's dying to be there. Come on.
I'm gonna skip
Come on, Eve.
the last little bit of. Come on, Eve. Eve Gumel.
Yves Gumel.
I'm gonna skip this last little bit of esports because it's a really short clip and I don't really have a lot to say about it. We got a chance to play the newly announced Deathmatch.
Yeah, you did.
In Team
did.
Deathmatch today. As a team, sorry, Pat.
It's all right. Do you play team deathmatch?
We played team because we were in a
And?
group, so we couldn't play against each other.
Yeah. Talk to me about it.
Less-
I was weirdly conflicted about it.
It is less terrifying than playing all-in deathmatch.
Okay.
You're against everybody. That's for
Fair
sure.
enough.
And in terms
That's
of
terrifying.
death matches, I had more fun. Though I don't know if that was a combination of the game and playing with people that I
Right.
knew and was openly communicating with, but I was less frustrated.
The maps change at all? Like, what are
They
they?
have more condensed. So they have a
Yeah.
couple of new matches or new maps that are specifically for when they introduce the elimination
Yep.
rounds. They've carried those over to death matches, and then they have most of the regular maps
Okay.
except condensed. So you get part of the map.
Got it.
So you'll get certain sections of
Yep.
it that you can run around in. Some of them are a lot bigger than other ones, which
Sure.
makes it interesting as far as gameplay mechanics.
Who are
Where it
people
will-
picking? Who are people playing with?
Well,
I actually saw a good variety. of
Did
you?
people.
yeah.
We did get around. It's a different mentality than when you're playing elimination. That's for sure.
Yeah, I
'Cause
bet.
I mean, elimination I was not a fan of because I lasted about 20 seconds usually.
But
But deathmatch is great in that way.
But for deathmatch, it's because the respawn timer is like 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
There were times when I was trying to pick another character, and our Mercy rezzed us, and I was like, "Wait, no! I was trying to get someone out.
I'm changing. Hold on.
I'm changing. Wait."
Yeah.
And then just immediately killed by Doomfist again. But
As it goes.
I find it a little bit. Despite not filling the ethos that Overwatch has had,
Yeah.
I feel that it's a lot. People are a lot more open because the punishment isn't as there to pick new characters as you need to.
Yep.
And coming from less of a I just want to play this player because I want to play this player, and being like, how can I kill that Widowmaker? And one of my favorite things that we did on the round that we won, I think we won one round
No,
or two.
we won 2 out of
Definitely was
3.
an Eichenwald.
We won the first Eichenwald. No, we didn't.
No.
No, it was
you're
close.
right. You're right.
Really
It was
you're
like
close.
28.
We won 2
30.
out of 4. The first one was really close. Then we got demolished.
Yeah,
As
but
he hangs his head.
but when we were back in
Oh, boy.
Egypt and we were in the Necropolis stage, there was this one Widowmaker that I just kept stopping and shutting down. And I was having so much fun doing it. Just running behind grenade, throw a mine, explode it.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of fun as junk. That is very much a Junkrat mode. I was using Reaper because I thought, hey, it's an edgelord mode. I'll do an edgelord.
Die. It's right there.
Yeah, it's all about it. But it was fun. I think it's gonna succeed.
Yeah.
I think it's
the
gonna
community
succeed in
seems to
the
like it too. Like, you think it's gonna be around?
I think it'll.
Oh yeah,
It'll.
I feel
Yeah.
it'll stick around. At least
so.
at least in arcade for a while.
What took them this long?
Because they didn't have a place for it. Like they wanted the play style to be specifically team based, whereas deathmatch is a little bit more singular. So
Yeah,
now
But
that they
also,
have,
but still, due to the nature of the heroes too, like it still is pretty team based. Like when we were working together well is when we were doing really good.
Yeah, but
Right.
When you're split up and you're respawning at different times and people
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah.
together, like
Makes it
even
very difficult.
even the mercy thing, I wonder if that actually is going to stay, because I feel like that's really strong. And if you're doing that, if you're playing team deathmatch without a mercy, I feel like you're kind of at a disadvantage.
what he's
Sure.
referring to is when Mercy reses, it takes the kills away
Yeah.
from the other team.
should.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which it makes a big difference tipping the scales sometimes.
I think it shouldn't. I don't think it should take the kills away. I think you should just get the res. The res is strong enough on its own, let alone.
Well,
you're not
especially
Well,
when
the cooldown is about 3 seconds.
You're not dead.
Yeah.
You're not dead.
Yeah.
No, it takes
and sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes the spawns can be really bad in terms of I'm dead, because one time we got rezzed because we were just killed by a Genji, and then Genji hit his super and killed us all
And
again.
that can't be
Immediately
2
killed.
kills. That can't be 2 kills. So it only has to count for one of those. Like, I think the res takes away those kills. Right? Imagine if you get res and you get killed again. That's double kills.
I mean, that happens in games, though.
so mad.
Yeah.
It has been known
It was
to
fun.
happen.
We'll see.
It was fun. We'll see. It's still in the PTR. There's still time to make changes. I wanted to, Patrick, you brought this up. Xbox is changing their achievements.
They didn't say much. I was just so Mike Ibarra was just talking a little bit about the evolving nature of achievements, right? Like, and he'd said something along the lines of, "We want to reward." Do you have the quote?
We are working towards a
Yes.
bigger, more meaningful change about somebody's gaming accomplishments in history as a gamer on Xbox. We can do a lot more to reflect and let people show their gaming history and their status. Which refers to, hey, if you're only playing multiplayer, well then we're going to make all of your, like, when people look at your achievements, they're going to know that you're a multiplayer god.
Right.
If you only play story stuff, we're going to let people know that you're more of an artsy whatever. If you only play indie games, whatever.
You're aware.
He made eye contact with me. A little artsy.
No, I'm
little
with-
artsy guy
Hey,
over in the
hey,
corner. Little artsy pansy
I'm
boy.
with you on the story mode stuff, all right?
bad
No,
at
I'm
shooting
just-
games.
But like, and like, I
Play
just a little
easy
artsy,
mode.
little artsy boy. I
Just gonna
just
shoot
want
stuff.
I just want the game to play itself.
Play Destiny
I just
hard
please
mode.
entertain me.
for the story.
Just
make me
I want it
click a
on
button
rails.
every
Yeah,
so
I want to press
often,
A
it's
once every
good.
5 minutes. I thought it was interesting. Again, like to what he said, like it reflects the type of gamer that you are, and also it sounds like they're going to go deeper. Like if I'm only playing one game, but I'm like pro level in it, maybe it's 10,000 achievement points for that one game, and it's going to show you that you are like world class. I don't know. And what I realized when this announcement came out, I don't know if you guys like give a shit about achievements. Like I'm not one who cares at all. Although it's still gratifying when that pops.
I used to.
I'm not.
I like when the
Like
rare ones
Xbox
pop.
360.
Yes, I do
used
too.
to.
Have you seen how the rare achievements pop on Xbox One?
Nope.
It's like a little diamond when it's like, oh,
Ding,
only like
ding, ding.
what? I think it's like, is it under 5% or 10%?
Definitely 5. I was gonna say 5 or
Okay.
1, but yeah, no, it's definitely yeah.
if
it's-
under 5% of the population of game owners haven't got it,
achievement.
it becomes
Special level.
yeah.
So
And
good.
it doesn't even give you any other points or anything. It's just like, hey, good for you.
You're really
You get to
special.
feel special for a moment.
It's the most
What's wrong with
special.
that?
Somebody loves me.
Like
yes.
the one, I honestly think that I like how PlayStation does their achievements a little bit better in the sense where instead of it's points, it's numbers, it's here's a bronze trophy, here's a silver trophy,
Oh,
here's,
you
and
do.
it's a similar, it's all tiered similarly, but it's like, oh, I got this many golds, I got this many silvers, I got way
don't.
too many bronzes.
I don't like that.
Platinum.
Yeah, platinum's legit. I agree, but there's something that's similar. It's like they weight them based on point value. So for me, it's easier to compartmentalize. Oh, that was only a 50-point achievement versus that was a 500-point achievement or whatever. So I like the Xbox stuff. I just thought, I just didn't realize I didn't know if you guys were like achievement hunters in your own right. Do you guys look at achievements before you start a game?
I try not to because I feel like it ruins certain things. I try to go through a game and find as much as I can on my own, which actually ended up being bad for when I played Firewatch.
Yeah.
I missed a really easy achievement.
Did you?
And I was so sad about it because I don't know if I wanted to go back and play it again just to get this achievement. But I'm sitting there staring at it. I'm like, I want that achievement. I want it.
Especially when it's the last one that OCD checks in, and you're like, come on.
If it's a game that I'm spending a lot of time on,
Yeah.
and one where I'm sort of the master of the domain, I'll be like, all right, what more can I do to sort of get more out of this experience? Like Minecraft is one of the few games that I've platinumed or 100%ed or whatever, just because I'm already here anyway.
Yep.
But I've 100%ed a WWE game once, and Assassin's Creed 2 are like I've only.
That is a legit 1,000-pointer.
That's rough.
That is a legit.
That's a big one. Yeah.
And that's
That-
why I've started to not care because I spent so much time on
You
Xbox
did early.
360
Yeah,
with
yep.
all those points
Yep.
and haven't thought about them in years. And even if I did, nobody cares.
Nope.
You know, it's like
It's not a big deal anymore.
it's
No.
not.
You
So that's
care
what.
for yourself.
Yeah,
I do- I do that thing where, like, if you guys heard of a game called Ghost Recon, trust me, you should play it.
Is it Wildlands or the original?
The Wildlands.
very
You might have heard of
That's
it.
the
I
one
might
with
be
the
like
monkey,
weirdly
right?
obsessed.
Twice.
I'm nearly 100% of the DLC. It's a problem. But I'll do the thing where, like, Xbox shows me the progress. I think when the progress is like, I've got 9 out of 10 of one thing, I'm like, well, all right, I can just knock that out. Like, I can jump out of a helicopter
One
one
more
more
thing?
time. Yeah, totally. But other than that, like, it's not anything I even notice. It's always like a pleasant surprise. And they've done a really good job lately, I feel like, in the evolving trophies. Like, so many of them are hidden now. So they don't. There's no
Yeah.
spoilers.
You
Early
actually
on,
have to go look them up
totally.
to find out.
Early
what
on,
they
it
Or
was
are.
story
like-
based, or
Right.
yeah, they're based on finding secrets.
You
Yeah.
get a handful of them no matter what, and then it's always fun to kind of reach out. I like all the story-based one. I hate the ones that are time-based. So like the
Like a
time
speed run?
trials in
Yep.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I am missing one trophy in that
that's
game.
not okay.
One trophy.
Not okay.
And it's this one single
Yeah.
hunting ground challenge that I just cannot do in time.
Right.
And it is this one full sun
Right.
that I need to finish them all, and I can't do it. And I'm like, you know what? It's not worth the frustration.
Nope.
I have sat here for 30 minutes doing this trial over and
Nope.
over again. and
That's when it's not fun.
No, I
happening.
agree.
Like it's come to the point where if it's a time trial mission and if it's a side quest, then I'm like, well, I guess I'm never doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not worth it.
No,
and
totally.
So,
Or-
Do you get like a special
Or-
piece of armor or like a
no,
bow?
you just get the satisfaction
the
of knowing you did
trophy.
it.
She gets the trophy of not
I
twitching.
was so
Just like-
close. It's one challenge.
Or if it's like a stealth mission where
Nope.
it's like
That's what this
you get
one
the
is.
special challenge if you
Nope.
don't kill anyone. I'm like, nope.
No,
Oh yeah,
that-
I'm gonna
that's
kill
not important.
everybody.
yeah. I'm
No.
gonna kill some fools.
I barely
Yeah.
made it through. I'm not gonna go back and spend 10 minutes watching the guards' paths
No.
to figure out
No.
when
No,
it's
no.
safe for me to walk.
Not
You
my
clear
jam.
So
that
that someone
area.
can detect me when I'm almost done and I have to start all
Yeah.
over again. And
Yeah,
then
it
snap
almost
my controller.
like when that would it's like you would want to put your difficulty setting one lower so that you can just
And then I
finish the
remember
mission.
that
Who
I'm a
would
and then
man.
you put it
what
back up.
baby would do that though? Like, do you know any babies that would do that? I don't.
And that
I
I
don't know.
look.
Do you, Nate? Do you know
no,
any babies?
I value myself.
I know. Yeah, you can see some
I
self-respect.
have to say I was almost that baby when I started
Oh,
Wolfenstein.
no.
Okay, I
What?
just wanted
No.
to play
The
the, story.
beginning?
That game's
No.
hard. That game's
The
hard.
beginning
Game's hard
is
as-
not hard.
Okay,
That game's
that's
hard as
fine.
You're
And
like
I-
a god in the
I
beginning.
started on regular, but I'm looking through the options, and it's like, oh, you
I
want
don't
to
know
go
these
easy?
people.
You're kind of a baby, and then you go to like the easiest setting,
should
and it's
rename this
literally
show to
him as
Easy
a
Mode.
baby.
So-
And I'm like, oh well, I obviously can't do
No.
that.
So, confession time. I finished Injustice this weekend, and I will tell you, Brainiac is too cheap on
Brainiac
normal.
is so cheap.
He's so cheap. I beat him on easy. Same thing. I'm like, nope. I just want to finish this as Superman. I want to see this shitty ending and be done with this dumb game. Which, by the way, was kind of great. But same thing. I did the same thing. I was like, look, I'm playing this for the story, not for the challenge. And that dude is soups
Oh,
cheap.
yeah.
So fuck that guy. So I'm with you.
Sorry,
I-
say that last part again.
that I'm in this for the story, not the challenge.
All
I know. So
right.
I give you shit about it, but I actually really.
I do want to say fighting games are different
I
because
the one exception.
well,
Well, who's in a fighting game for the story?
No, look. Okay, so
I am, but
what
besides the
is
point.
the? But this, yeah,
That's a
very
whole-
much
that's
was.
a
I was
whole
like, I am
different
not playing him
topic for a
one more
day.
time. He's so cheap. But like for me, that perfect difficulty is right where I feel stressed about it, but not have to repeat it several times. So if that's easy or if that's super hard, see, like on Halo, I play the Halos on the really hard one because that's that right at that where like I'm gonna almost die all the time and I feel so accomplished. But like for me, I felt great about beating Brainiac on easy because that was still not an easy. It still took me 3 times on easy.
To do it.
Well, Injustice 2 does adjust the difficulty a little bit as you play.
Oh, does it?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel better, but like I don't care what, like I'm not above it. I actually think Uncharted 4 people should play on easy. That is a story-based game and the shooting's not optimal, and I've seen people get hung up, and I'm like, if you get stopped, like play it on easy. Who cares? That is about the emotional resonance of these characters. The gunplay's not good. Like stop, just play. What makes you feel good, however you want to enjoy a game. So like I'd rather you finish Horizon on any difficulty because the story's so dope. Who cares what level you're playing on?
That's why I want to do it.
I know. I'm so excited
do
for
it.
you. But yeah,
Well,
play
like,
it on easy.
And
Don't
I
slow
told
it
them
down.
this last week. I got to my first what is it called? I forgot because it's been that long already. But the first cauldron. I got
Okay,
to
yeah.
the first cauldron, and there was a big boss fight in there, and I finally started to get everything.
Like the
where it's-
traps and the- yes, it's
where
such a
like,
good
okay,
moment.
now I gotta lay down the traps, and now I got these bombs that I gotta
Yes.
use, and so now I'm into it, and I think now that I've had that breakthrough moment,
clicked.
it clicked, and I
Yep.
don't think I'll go back down.
Good, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think there should be, unless it's a stealth mission, because I suck at stealth missions.
Yep.
Action I can take care of.
And I will say by the end of it, it's nice because you actually feel so underpowered at the beginning of that. At the end, you feel like you've learned so much when you're.
Anything.
Yeah, you can
excited.
take down the biggest dude, and you're like, yeah, just did what?
No, you take
what?
control of the biggest
That's
dude
true.
and
Hey.
have him take
Hey.
everything.
Like, what?
Thanks for
Spoilers.
spoiling
No,
that.
but it's a
Anyway.
dinosaur. Like it's
You're
not
a
the biggest dude.
dinosaur.
Got him.
I didn't say anything about. I didn't spoil anything.
So one of the last things I wanted to talk about until we just go off into the weeds. Wait a minute, we did that already. Was No Man's Sky released patch 1.3.
No
the
Man's Sky.
Atlas Rises update.
It did.
It brings a brand new and overhauled central storyline, portals, a new procedural mission system, trade improvements, system economies, joint exploration, which for the layperson is multiplayer, and more. This update marks the 1-year anniversary of No Man's Sky and has a lot of changes. Please see Pathfinder and Foundation for previous major updates. This is the next step on our journey. Now, in this description, there seems to be a lot of basics
Yep.
when it comes to a release, and it's sort of been determined already that there was I'm not a weenie, by the way, that No Man's Sky was really too big for its britches by the time it was released, because
I think so.
everybody had such this grand idea of it when they weren't clear that that wasn't going to be the 1.0 release.
Sure.
Now that the game is the game that they wanted it to be, is there still time for this community to build back up?
Look, I think good on them, right? They could have like literally. This game sold incredibly well. It was a Sony marquee title. It was the VGX. It was on stage at E3. It's it got up to a 12-man team, but most of the dev cycle was like 6 dudes. Like, it is so ambitious. I think they got put in a difficult position with Sony. This should have been a pre-release, beta type, but and again, early access type title.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that it's not, but they made a ton of money building this game. So good on them. They've continued to deliver. I don't know that there's goodwill left for this game in the community. I'm excited. I spent 30
combat?
hours. Yeah. They've got low altitude flying now. They've got vehicles. They've got an improved combat system in space. They've got new missions that are narrative based. They've got new textures and world types. So they've increased the algorithm, so you're going to see a greater variety of things.
This is a free update.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And
just making sure.
I think
You
it's
never know
really
these days.
good on Sean Murray and those guys. I think my time with No Man's Sky is done. I'm actually weirdly interested in seeing the graphical overhaul, because I think the improved textures, they've got PS4 Pro support.
Okay.
Kind of interested to see what they did, but I don't know, man. I can't imagine this pulling a lot of players back.
I can imagine if next month or maybe Christmas month or whatever, this was the PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah.
So just to try to bring people in, because this isn't new for any any reason, but it's like Rocket League.
Yeah.
Rocket League was the free game, and I have people who still regret that they didn't download it when it was first came out, because now it's everywhere.
Yep.
Right.
So I figure the best way to get people back in is, here it is for free, give it a shot.
Yep.
And if you like it, stick around.
Yep.
But the fact that they did use all of the money, because they got all of the money, to reinvest and deliver with their promises that they made, albeit some may say a year too late.
It's a substantial
It still
overhaul.
sa-
It's impressive.
Yeah.
They
It still
could
says a lot
literally
about
just
them as developers.
Super
Yeah.
agree.
Taking the money
And
and something else.
But yeah, I think even then the
Joe
reputation.
Danger 3.
Yes, give me that. I don't think anybody buys another game from those guys ever again unless they. I think
Redeem
to some
themselves.
degree this is a self-preservation. I think they could even rebrand the studio, and forever Sean Murray would be that guy that oversold his game. I mean, worse than Molyneux, right? Like people, and for better for worse, it's not his fault. I think he got sucked into that PR cycle with Sony, but like, I think their reputation is permanently damaged if they don't do something. But good on them, right? It seemed like they went even above and beyond for this. So I don't know. I'm weirdly interested. It's still on my hard drive. Played like 30 hours.
If
of
you
it.
ever go back,
Yeah.
please let us know.
I will.
Yeah. And sort of the last thing before we go, what's everybody looking forward to playing this weekend? Unless it's all still the same.
I actually just resubbed to Final Fantasy 14.
You did.
Really?
You did.
I think I'm gonna start that.
Ah.
You're gonna start fresh.
Goodbye,
Well, I haven't-
Stacy.
I
It was
never
so good
played it.
having
I
you on
know.
the show.
Bye,
I will
guys.
see you later.
I think I am. Yeah.
Let me know.
Alright.
So you can jump on the server. But my roommate started playing a little bit after I played. I stopped playing because I didn't really know anybody that was playing. But my roommate started playing. He just caught up to the level where I was. So I said, when you catch up, I'll join you. But then also this morning I was like, man, Destiny 2 beta is about to come out, and then Destiny next month.
PC, son.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I've already got PUBG and League and Overwatch, which is now exciting to play again because there's new stuff.
And it's summer games.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Lucio Ball was fun today.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play anything this week? What are you up to? Just all
Overwatch.
that? Great.
Overwatch, Minecraft Sky Factory.
Mark's gonna play PUBG with me too.
Yeah, I got some Steam cards.
All right.
And I'm a little short, but he's like, "No, I'll cover the rest of that." I'm like, all right.
Nice. That's
Sweet
the power
deal.
of that game.
Well
He's like,
worth
yeah,
it. Seriously.
nice.
Well
Yeah.
worth
I
it.
can't wait to hear your guys' adventures.
But I also
Can't wait to watch
think-
you
just
just
flounder.
die.
Yeah.
Just
it
please
sounds really bad, but
I need a chicken dinner tweet when you get the first one together. I know.
you gotta give us
See
a
in
few
4
weeks.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
Stop. 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee
You
man,
have
he
to
gets
remember
it.
the game is so popular, so like, yeah, there's a lot of people that are good at it. There's a lot of people who are also really terrible. who
Yeah, I'm
just
sure.
bought the game.
Law
Like, man,
large
this looks
numbers,
fun. I
right?
want to play.
Yep.
And they drop into
Sucker.
the island and land in the water and
Right.
drown the first time.
It's gonna be me.
Did that happen?
Well, I mean, you can, but you have
Is
to
that what happened to
like,
me?
intentionally
Guarantee
swim
it.
underwater and then
Oh, hey, a
swim
bridge.
upwards.
Nope.
And it's like you're drowning, and I'm good. I'll see what happens.
I'm gonna try to play a little bit more Overwatch 2, just because we're
We have
2
to try to
weeks away.
capture some footage so we can get some.
Yeah,
do a
so we can
highlight
play our
reel.
own footage.
Yeah.
But yeah, whoever knows how long Deathmatch is going to be on the PTR. But I'm always a big fan of Lucio Ball, so I want to
Cool.
play as much of that as I can. And try to get some of the skins that I want without having to buy any boxes.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Nice.
Hey. I can neither confirm nor deny. that
How many
statement.
boxes?
Let's say
I may have already done that too.
yeah.
Fair enough.
You have to start off
See,
strong.
I buy all the boxes. I spend way too much stuff on that. So
Now, how big of a box pack have you bought? How many boxes is the biggest box?
I don't want to have this conversation.
what's this?
All right, look.
At one
I
time?
have some self-control. I spend $20 chunks.
Yes, that's
I'm
fine.
I
not
have
telling
ones
you how
too, yeah, yeah.
frequently I do
It's
that.
not very
Yeah.
effective with your money.
I've
You
done
need,
it
you
once.
need to go for the
know
full
what?
50.
I
You
didn't
need
say
to go for the
that.
full
I
50.
didn't say that.
But my
I'm
dollar
just
per
saying.
minute played ratio's got to be higher than yours because there's no way I've played probably 20 hours. I've at least spent $20.
Like the first winter update, I didn't play it. I just bought a box for the first weekend, and that was it.
Cool.
I never played it.
Yeah.
I didn't play it. I wanted Nutcracker Zenny so bad. But we skipped over Stacey. What are you going to be playing this week? Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah.
Just
Maybe.
that?
No, I think I'm playing catch up on a lot of games. I think I'm finally going to start What Remains of Edith Finch.
Yes!
I picked that up. It was on sale on Steam last week. So I
Damn
picked
it.
up.
That's a walking simulator.
And,
if I've ever seen
so
one.
I'm excited about that. And then I'm
really
going to
fucking
try to
good.
finish Wolfenstein eventually. I'm
Yes!
very slowly crawling my
excited
way
by
through
this.
this game.
I love it.
Literally crawling. in that
You know,
game.
in some cases, yes.
Yeah. And I just picked up a game called The Observer. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Also a weird walking simulator. Do you remember Layers of Fear?
Yeah, I know Layers of
So
Fear.
it's those guys, and it is a Blade Runner type dystopian cyberpunk horror game.
That's a lot of words.
I know.
But they're
on
all
PS4.
words that I like.
I know exactly. Me too. A sight unseen. I saw one trailer and I'm like, they said all of those, and I'm like, where's the buy button?
Yeah,
Where's the buy?
okay.
Allegedly, it's 6-7 hours. It's also another walking simulator horror cyberpunk type thing. So I'm gonna try and get through Hellblade and get into The Observer this week, because after that we got them Uncharted.
Oh, that's right. Lost Legacy's coming out.
Next week. So I got.
4.
This is my
I could
catch up
start
week.
4.
I
about that?
started
You
it.
should. You should.
I did
Well, I need to
start
finish
it.
Horizon.
It's a long
You do
one.
need to do that.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Can you say, not spoilery, but like what beat are you on story-wise in Horizon?
For Horizon? I just finished the first Cauldron.
Okay.
So there's that.
You can finish
and I
those
got
in any
to and I got
order,
to the
so-
I got to the city, like the big city.
I know where you are. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
I know where you
let
are.
us know what you're playing in the comments down below, or find us on Twitter. Hit us up at InventoryFullPT on Twitter, on Twitch, because we're also going to be. No, please, Patrick, continue with
It
that.
was just the way you said on Twitch. I just loved it. It was so exciting to me.
On.
I know.
Hit us up on Twitch. We're all testing to see how our stream setups are so that we can start streaming on the regular on that channel. So please head over there, give us a follow. We'll be there soon. Don't you worry. But until next time, where can the folks find us on Twitter, and what are you working on?
I'm not working on anything. Working on finishing some games this week. You can find me Peter the Dees, or if I'm on Xbox Live or PlayStation at Truly Slide. It's a Fight Club reference, just in case you're wondering. People always ask me. That's a reference.
That's a reference?
Beat him to the punch, explain it for him.
Everybody asks.
Which where?
He says the thing you have to admire about Tyler is he lets the things in life that don't matter truly slide. I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's Raymond.
I'm a big-
What do you want to be? It's the you know, that's right after the Raymond the veterinarian
Like
scene.
a space
I
monkey.
know. Yes. Stacey, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles, or on Overwatch at SmartPop. I remember my numbers now. It's number 1698. Look at me go. Or I'm Seriously Siri on PlayStation Network.
I always forget my Blizzard numbers.
Yeah, I forgot my numbers too.
Use them
Guys,
a
you
lot
can
lately.
find me on social media at DogLikeNate. Please hit me up on Twitter if you want to play. We can play League or Overwatch or PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which would be preferred, and then we can die together.
I'm going to be playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with my boy Nate here. You can
Yes.
find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. I would like to stream or record my first round.
Yes,
We
of-
should
I want to
definitely do
watch
that.
that.
We should
Yeah.
definitely
Please
do
let
that.
us
Okay.
enjoy
And people
that.
watching should participate and then let us know what their experience was.
Yes.
We'll include it in the show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Excellent.
please do. More on that, please follow everybody at the network at The Popcorn Talk. Follow the show at InventoryFullPT. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at Volskaya Industries. Why not? Overwatch.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I got it.
Get it?
For producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.